younger, you pretty much have no idea.
Exactly.
You're like, you need to choose something.
Yeah.
You're like 18 years old.
Exactly.
You need to choose something. And the mindset always then for the average person is always like, okay, what can I do to make money? And that's like your driving factor when it comes to like what you're going to do with the rest of your life. Like, what can I do to make money? Instead, you should be thinking, what do I like to do? And then once you figure out what you like to do, you can go like, okay, how can I make money doing it?
You're listening to On The Go Voice Podcast, the best generational podcast you'll ever tune into. Listen to the voices of this generation where we seek to identify values, stimulate discussions, and vocalize the community. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to On The Go Voice Podcast. I'm your host, Charles Sabiaga, and you are listening to the Biz Talk series, where we bring in a couple of entrepreneurs, leaders, and to just dive into the mindset about when it comes down to business. And despite with everything that's going on today, I'm actually really excited to have this guy here today. He's going to talk about how he found his company, experience about it, and a little bit about himself as well. You know, because obviously running a business takes some mindset. But with that being said, it's also his birthday. So let me introduce you guys to Patrick Shatter, owner and founder of Epic Spreads. How are you today, bro?
I'm doing pretty good. You know, it's pretty interesting. It's the third year in a row it's rained on my birthday.
Is that true?
It is true. It's pretty crazy.
Sounds like is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I mean, everything's been going good so far. You know, so
right.
Rain. I'm not like the biggest fan of rain, but I know we need it, so it's all good.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you're here, and I know, man, you could have done something else for your birthday, and I'm glad that you're here to share your story for the podcast as well. So for everybody listening, why don't we start off with a little background about yourself? Who are you? Where are you from? And what do you do exactly?
Yeah, my name's Patrick. I'm from this area of Ventura County, and my company is Epic Spreads. We make a peanut cashew coconut spread. Nice. All kinds of different flavors. They're healthy spreads. It's good source of protein, good source of healthy fats. And I got into that because I was doing a lot of working out. About 12 years ago, I got into fitness, and I was really skinny before. That's how I got started with the whole thing. I was really skinny, and I was like doing my research on diet. This is before, like back in my day, you know. Before the internet, right. Before YouTube.
Wait, how old are you?
I'm 31.
31? Oh,
yeah, back in my day, they had magazines. So I picked up this magazine. I was on my break at work at the time, and it was like one of those like fitness, bodybuilding kind of magazines.
Okay,
like,
cool.
30 pounds of muscle in 3 months. And I'm like, hey, I'm a skinny guy. I want to gain 30 pounds of muscle.
Nice.
So I bought the magazine, and I actually joined the gym that day. And I was following the workout routine in it because I had like all the workouts with all the diagrams, and then like a sample diet, and peanut butter was in there. So I was eating a lot of peanut butter. Basically, it's like how it started. I was trying to bulk up, put on some weight. So I was just eating like a lot of regular peanut butter, and then I was started experimenting, making my own stuff. After a while, I just kind of like to make my own stuff. Like that's how I am. And I was just making my own peanut butter for myself for a while, like probably like a year or two. Just my own like different blends, different kind of nuts and that kind of stuff. And then I was working for the sheriff's department.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I tried to do this like grown up thing. Yeah, because like when I was younger, I wanted to be a rock star. So,
oh, okay.
Yeah, and then I was like, well, I'm like 24, 20. Well, I was 25 at the time. I'm like, well, I guess I got to get a real job. I was applying for the county, and I ended up working for the sheriff's department. Okay. And I was doing that for a couple of years. And I was just always like, man, I can't be working. I was working as like a corrections officer, basically. Okay. At the Ventura County Jail. And I'm like, man, I can't be doing this forever. It's like so depressing. I'm like thinking to myself, like, I need to figure something out. Like, what else am I good at? You know, basically, I kept thinking, like, what am I good at? And I was going through the list. I'm like, man, this list is very short. Wow. Yeah, because all my skills before that were just like office jobs, like filing, basically. I had a bunch of filing jobs. So I really had what I thought was like no skills. Right. And I've always had like this like mindset, like I always hated every job I had, like, for the most part, because like I hate being like held to the schedule. I hate doing what other people are telling me to do, and you know, it just wasn't fun and fulfilling. And you know, everyone's all like, "Oh, it's work. It's not supposed to be fun."
Yeah, of course.
And I was always like, "No, yeah, I don't want to do that.
So you're supposed to work and not have fun?
Exactly. Well, I was trying to be an adult, basically. I was going through the quarter life crisis thing at like 24, 25. Like, what am I going to do?
Right.
And then I ended up like I said, working for the county because the benefits and all that kind of stuff. That's what retirement benefits. That's what people try to get when they're older.
True. No, they still kind of is.
Yeah, no, it is because like being an adult's expensive. So that's why people just end up, I guess I would say like settling because it's safe.
It's true.
And I did that because I just didn't know any better. No one ever told me like, hey, maybe you should try doing your own business. Like that thought was never, something that anyone ever said.
Right. Who told you that, if I'm asking?
No one ever suggested
no one told you that.
No, everyone's like, hey, find the job you like.
Okay.
Go to school, like stuff like that. That was all the advice I get. No one ever once suggested that I should try doing my own business. I don't come from like a family of like entrepreneurs.
Right,
so,
same.
So that's like weird to like most people. But anyways, like I was working at the sheriff's department for a couple of years, like probably like 2 or 3 years. I can't remember how long exactly it was, but I kept thinking to myself, like, I need to figure out something. I need to do something. I had a guy that was working there saying that I got to get out of there before it's too late, basically. Because if you're there for like a certain amount of time, you basically make enough money to be comfortable, and then you never like. Well,
that's the initial plan for most careers, right? And that's what we've been passed down to.
It's what we've been passed down to. It's just like you end up just kind of following what people would say, like the societal norms, basically. But like I've always been
safer route.
Yeah, I've always been like non-traditional. Like I was always terrible at school. I would get like phone calls to my parents. They'll be like, "Oh, Patrick's not doing his assignments, or he has so much potential," and all this stuff. And because I always looked at it as like a waste of time. Because I was always learning stuff I didn't want to learn. Like now I love learning.
Yeah, of course. But you learn from what you want to learn.
Exactly, and that's the problem. It's like when you're forced to learn a bunch of stuff you just don't want to do it. Like for me, just forcing me to do it's not gonna make me do it.
Right.
I'm like a rebel, you know. So I was doing the sheriff's department thing for a while, and I'm like trying to figure out what I'm gonna do. And I was like, well, I make this peanut butter. People think it's pretty good. I guess I can like try to sell that on the side. That was my first initial plan. Like I can probably like sell it like at a local farmer's market or something.
Okay.
And I ended up like doing like an Instagram for it, and also selling it online weirdly, like through Instagram. Yeah.
Through Instagram only?
Yeah, Instagram only. And
when was this? Like 2013, 2014?
2016, I think. Yeah.
Okay. That was kind of like in the rise.
Yeah. So that was like right when it like first kind of came out. It was kind of like a new thing, and I still remember like the first order I ever got. Was this? I can't remember her name, but she was from New York. Wow. I didn't know anything about like shipping or anything like that. And at that point, I was like, I didn't know how to get labels, so I was printing them out and like taping them, gluing them onto a plastic jar that I had.
Creative.
And it was like real ghetto, and like no joke, it cost me more to ship the thing.
Oh wow!
I didn't actually make any money off of it, but I was just excited that like
someone wanted.
Some stranger, not my family, not my friends, actually bought this.
Wow.
Like random thing off the internet bought it. So, and that was happening like fairly often. I'm like, that's crazy. And I was just kind of like making it. I ended up renting out a commercial kitchen space over here locally in Ventura, so it's all like legal, so I can sell online.
Okay.
And so I was just like doing that on the side while working for the sheriff's department. And at a certain point, I'm like, man, this is becoming just like way too much. Like I literally can't even do both. It's like pretty much impossible.
How many hours were you working a week in the sheriff's department?
We had an interesting schedule. There was always a lot of overtime, but my schedule was basically like 1 week I would work 5 days, five 12-hour shifts, and then the next week was scheduled for like only 2. But that like rarely happened. It was always more than that. A lot of overtime and stuff. Sure. But they're 12-hour shifts, so it doesn't really like allow you to have more time to do stuff on the days you work. Especially me, I'm like, I'm gonna go to the gym and like all that stuff. By the time I like cooked my food and went to the gym, I'm like, I need to go to sleep because I gotta get up at like 5 or early. Like
that's
4,
early.
I gotta get up like at 4:30 to get to work. So it didn't really like allow me much time. So I was doing it all my days off basically. But it came to a certain point where it was getting super busy, and then I found out about this thing called like a leave of absence. And I was reading about it because someone suggested it when I was working there, and I was like reading about it. It's like, you can qualify if you're like, having kids, like that kind of thing, like going to school. And I'm like, well, I don't know if this qualifies, but it's worth asking, basically, is like how I looked at it. And I went over to the admin sergeant, and I was like, hey, I was looking into this like leave of absence thing, and I was wondering if I could take 6 months.
Wow.
I just asked for it because I'm like, you know what, at this point, if this gets approved, because this is kind of crazy, if this gets approved, it's like meant to be. And weirdly, he was like super understanding because he knew I was already doing the business on the side. He's like, oh man, it must be so tough. I'm like, yeah. Right. And he's like, are you sure? And I'm like, yeah. So he signed off on it, and then at that point I never looked back. Wait.
So let me backtrack. Sorry for interrupting, but they let you do a leave of absence because you had a business on the side?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was kind of shocked that they would allow that, but they did.
Worth a shot.
It was worth a shot. Cause basically my thought was, and I'm always like this, like the worst thing someone can say is no.
It's true.
So you never know what you can get, basically, unless you ask.
Exactly.
A lot of people don't get what they are desiring just because they never asked for it.
Absolutely.
So I thought it was like, to me, it would be a sign from the universe if this gets approved or not. Basically, is how I looked at it. Like, it's meant to be. So at that point, I'm like, well, that's crazy. This seems meant to be. So I just kind of like, that was me just going in, just doing it. You know, I'm like, okay, this is like, I guess like a safer way. Like, I didn't technically quit my job, but basically I didn't take any pay.
It's true.
But I could still always come back and like work. You know what I mean?
True. So if it doesn't work out, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, they allowed that, which I was like, wow, I'm super grateful for, you know. And I'll always remember that. Allowed me to have this opportunity to, you know, do this, and it's taken me to so many crazy directions.
Exactly.
There, you know what I mean? It just totally changed my mindset.
Yeah.
But that's how the whole thing started.
Okay. So within that frame that you actually took your leave of absence, you decided to go into your business.
Yes.
Did you have the name Epic Spreads before? Or?
You know, actually, no. I was calling it Patrick's Butter. I hated that name. Like, I just knew I wanted to sell peanut butter. Like, when I first started, I'm like, I want to sell peanut butter. I don't know what to call it. I was calling it Patrick's Butter, which I just hated that name. But I couldn't think of anything better. And I, like, wrote down probably like 50 names in my notes on my phone. And I started going on Google and doing the GoDaddy searches to see if any of them were available.
Oh, that's
you know what I mean? Because I want to get a good domain. It's all about having like a good domain.
Marketable too.
Exactly. So I was going through that, and then, you know, I like the name Epic Spreads, and the domain was available, so I bought the domain. And then I'm like doing the trademark search, and that was available, so I was able to trademark it too. So I'm like, okay, cool, like everything's lining up, you know.
Probably was.
Yeah, and then the next thing to do is like get some labels made, you know, and like some real labels. So that's kind of how, you know, it's kind of like working backwards. Kind of, I had an idea for a product, and I was kind of like reversing and like, how do I get this into the jar and all the equipment and like, that kind of stuff. And I spent a lot of time researching like all the equipment and like how to do like manufacturing, labels, you know, vendors and stuff like that, you know. Yeah.
So when you thought of the idea of Epic Spreads, I know you made a list, right? What was your thought when you thought of Epic Spreads? I mean, besides the fact that it was available for the domain, but I'm sure you had some alignment with it, right?
Oh, like why I picked that name?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, my thing was, I was making these peanut butters that were all like all kinds of different flavors,
right?
And I'm like, so these aren't boring. I want this to be like a fun. The whole like concept of the brand idea is like it's like a fun, not so serious way to take in like good nutrition. You know what I mean? So I'm like, well, we have like birthday cake flavor, like that's pretty epic, you know?
Okay. Oh, okay. And that makes sense.
And I wanted to be kind of like a California kind of like feel, you know, since that's where we're from.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like just trying
that does make sense.
Yeah, kind of more targeted towards like people like in this age demographic, and they'd be into that kind of thing, you know? Yeah.
Right. So when you started that up, what was that process looking like? I mean, I'm curious, you know?
Yeah. Oh, like from like.
Yeah, when you took that leap.
Yeah, the concept to like basically having a product. Pretty much like a lot of filing paperwork, to be honest. Okay. And a lot of paying for permits and like stuff like that.
That's what I was gonna ask too, because I'm sure if you have a business that has food or anything with consumables, right? Yeah. You have to go through some sort of certification, or how does that work?
Yeah, pretty much. Since we're a manufacturer, we're licensed. The state does all the licensing for all the food manufacturers in the state. So pretty much, if you want to be a wholesaler to sell online, you have to get permitted through the state, which means like they have a set of guidelines that you have to follow. They come in, they inspect you, they take a look at all your labels, all that kind of stuff to make sure it's like good to go.
Right.
And then once they approve, then you can actually start selling. So that's basically the process. You apply. It takes a couple months, actually. It's not a fast process.
Okay. Yeah, I bet, because like, you got to get approved and everything.
Exactly. That's what I'm like saying. Like when you're starting a business, it's a lot of paperwork, pretty much. Yeah, it's mostly.
Especially if it's like.
Yeah, that's not the fun stuff. I'm into the fun stuff, but like I did all the fun stuff first. Basically, it's like come up with the idea and all that. Then I had to go do all the paperwork to do it legally.
So it's 3 years now, or almost 4 years, right?
Yeah.
Fast tracking it now. What's some of the biggest changes from then on up to until now from the first year?
Like, the first year.
Yeah, because usually most businesses fail within the first year, right? But then you were able to sustain it. So
yeah, that's the thing though. Like one reason like a lot of businesses fail, because the first roadblock you run into, like they quit, because it's very challenging. You're pretty much being put down the whole way through, with just like extra fees, extra permitting. You can't do this, you can't do that. It's just there's a lot of that's why not everyone owns a business, because it's pretty much a lot of testing. It's really testing your patience.
Legalities.
Yeah, but it's really coming down to testing your patience. Like how long can you just like push through and persevere through? Because like literally you're being constantly challenged the whole way. It's not really set up for success, to be honest. Especially like with all the regulations. There's a lot of regulations, especially with like a food product. There's a lot of regulations, and I know in like other industries they have their own issues to deal with. But like we're doing consumables, so people can obviously get sick. So there's a lot of regulations you have to deal with, and it's costly. That's the thing. Pretty much in the beginning, I spent a lot of money I probably didn't need to spend. Because I didn't know anything, I was like buying the things I didn't think I thought I needed.
Materials wise, or just
equipment? Okay. I was ordering equipment from like China because I thought that's what everyone did. It turns out that's not always optimal. Yeah, like straight up, it's like not always optimal, because I'm like, this thing doesn't even work.
Sustainability is probably what
so I ended up realizing, because I actually get all like pretty much everything like locally in this area, and
it's good
because everything's like sourced out of the United States, which is nice. Because like one, you can talk to an actual human, like if you have an issue.
True.
And two, it's just like you're keeping it, the manufacturing in the country, which is like we need more of that here.
Yeah. What was some of those equipments or materials you had to spend on?
Yeah, well, we have it's a manufacturing facility where we're making peanut butter, so we have like grinders.
Okay, grinder to put the peanuts in.
Yeah, because we use we do all the processing, so we're getting all like the dry goods, the peanuts, the cashews, the coconut. Okay, we're grinding that all down, mixing in all our good ingredients. And then from there, they got to go into a jar. So we have a machine that fills up all the jars. Yeah. And then there's a machine that labels everything. So it's just, it's a lot of equipment, a lot of expensive equipment. Yeah.
I actually saw some of your stories making that. Was that you actually putting out the process of it? It's pretty cool.
I like to share that. Like, people like to watch like how it's made. So I
figured it would be cool. That is actually interesting. I was actually watching. It's pretty cool.
It's weirdly like they like to watch this kind of like things that like look at the process, like how this whole thing is done. Like that's cool. It's cool to see how something's done in like a 60-second clip. Of course. You don't want to spend like an hour watching. Of course, like 60 seconds.
But then people just, I don't know. I think the whole ASMR or like some things like that have grown.
It is. It's popular. And and I've always been that kind of a person. I'm curious, like how things are done. Like how is that bottle made? For example, you know what I mean?
Or how is it crushed or thrown away?
So I'm always like looking stuff up. Like I'm into making stuff. So
that's cool. So I know you said you're making it usually, when you're making it. Do you have other people usually make it, or are you the one kind of?
Yeah, no, we have us. There's 4 of us total. Okay. So we have a team. And in the beginning, I was making, everything. I was doing everything. Like pretty much when you start a business, you're like doing everything in the beginning, fulfilling orders, doing the manufacturing. Like it's like the whole thing. And then eventually, you basically reach a certain point where you're like, okay,
I need more time.
Well, you're like, this is not sustainable. And then you realize you can't do everything because you're not great at doing everything. Nice. And that's how you become more powerful, is when you realize what you're actually not good at.
Right. Accepting that part, right?
You have to accept that you're not going to be good at everything. And like for myself, that's why I took on a business partner, actually, because I'm like, okay, I'm not the most organized person when it comes to like paperwork and like stuff like that. So I need someone that's going to be way more like on that kind of thing, like that kind of way of thinking. I'm more of like a creative type.
Okay.
So
totally.
You know how creative types are.
Yeah, for sure.
We're just like a tornado. And I basically tell people I'm like an organized mess. Like I know what I'm doing, But to the average, like a lot of people be like, this is really messy. You know what I mean? But like I know where everything's at, you know, the whole thing. So it's good to figure out what your actual weaknesses are. And like, don't lie to yourself, basically. You know, think like, because everyone, when they start off, like, I can do it all. I don't need anybody. But if you look at any successful business, they didn't do it alone.
Exactly.
It takes a team.
Yeah.
It takes a team. Takes experience. You need a mentor. You need all these things, especially like, you know, being a business owner or entrepreneur. It's kind of like a lonely road, you know.
Yeah.
If we go, think about it. If you go to any kind of family gathering, none of them are talking about, you know, business
never.
stuff. So
barely.
Like, they're not there to support you. That's why we all have to come together and support each other instead of like, you know, you can't be successful because that takes away from me. We gotta really like build up the community, especially like younger entrepreneurs, because a lot of people aren't really encouraged to go down that road.
For sure,
just
without a doubt.
Go to school, and then you go into debt, and then you're basically a slave.
It's true.
That's really the road a lot of people end up going by, and they're just you can tell they're unhappy. You can tell they're unhappy with what they do.
I think what it is that like people aren't encouraged to go after what makes them happy or what makes them fulfilled. So then they're paved this pathway that's meant to be fulfilling, but for the most part we operate, we're humans, we're complex beings, you know.
It's true. And you know, like one thing to think about too is like when you're looking to figure out like what kind of job you want to do, what kind of career you want to do, you know, when you're younger you pretty much have no idea.
Exactly.
You're like, you need to choose something. You're like 18 years old, you need to choose something. And the mindset always then for the average person is always like, okay, what can I do to make money? And that's like your driving factor when it comes to like what you're going to do with the rest of your life. Like, what can I do to make money? Instead, you should be thinking, what do I like to do? And then once you figure out what you like to do, you can go like, okay, how can I make money doing that?
You can work around that, right?
You want to work backwards, basically. That's what I learned as I got older. It's like, okay, I got to work backwards on anything that I do from now on. It's got to be like
revolve your life around that, right?
Yeah,
the happiness that matters the most.
It's true, because you're building a lifestyle for yourself, basically. You know, if you want to live the life you want to live, you spend a lot of time, you know, working basically. So you better enjoy what you're doing, or else you're going to be miserable.
It's true. I think even so, backtracking to people kind of just like falling to this dogma or, you know, some sort of path that's paid for them, I think it comes down to what they're exposed to. Sometimes, you know, like nowadays with social media, it's a lot easier to see what people are, you know, what they could do outside behind the scenes.
True.
Because you have that outlet. Back then it was just like so limited, you could only see the success, you know, you can't see what actually people are doing. So now it's so much more easy. But then as people are more exposed to it, it just becomes easier for them to like, hey, you know what, maybe I could follow my dreams, which is cool about this whole social media era.
I mean, it's good and bad in my opinion, because
true.
No one's going on social media saying, hey, this is really difficult. You know, like, hey, this is really hard. They're like, hey, they're always like flexing on like, hey, my new car, my new watch, look at all this stuff. So in my opinion, it actually makes people have like a false hope of like what's actually possible. Yeah. And then when they actually, this is why a lot of businesses fail, because they go in, they think there's like, oh, I'm gonna start a business and all the money's coming in. And then you're like, no, actually I'm technically losing money because I'm spending a lot of money to get it started. And then you're like, then you quit. Usually you end up quitting before anything happens.
That's true. Well, maybe that might have been your passion. But even then, I think people... Oh my gosh, I totally just had a brain fart. This happens all the time.
Hey, it's all good. But dude, that's the problem though. It's like you should never... And this is what I learned as I got older. It's like you should never try to do anything just for the money. Basically, you have to have the right intent. It's all about what your intent is on what you're doing.
Sure, I talk about that all the time.
Yeah, it really is. Like that has become super important to me as I gotten older. It's like, what's my intention on what I'm doing here? Because it's not just to just get money. That's not the point of it. You know what I mean? That's just like that's a side effect of what you're doing. Exactly. It's really how you should look at it.
That's an outcome of what you do.
Exactly. That's like it just measures it. But your intent should never be like, hey, you know, I'm going to do this to just cash in. Because it won't be successful that way, and it won't bring you
not sustainable.
It won't bring you fulfillment and happiness. You'll still feel like something's missing, you know what I mean? That's why you gotta always find out what your intentions are and what your passions are and all that kind of stuff.
That's dope. That's dope. That's dope that you can come from that, you know, be able to share that with people who's looking into starting your own
business. That's the thing, because like when I started, I didn't think that way. You know, I just thought like I need to find something to get out of what I'm doing now to make money. I wasn't thinking like necessarily like intentional, but I also had no one even like tell me about that.
Of course.
Yeah, I was young. I was like 25 then.
Yeah,
like
I said.
What do I know?
Exactly. You can only know what you've been taught, basically.
Exactly. And I wasn't taught very much back then. I've done a lot of like self-education basically, and then I got a mentor. Mentorship's really important.
Who was your first mentor?
My business partner actually now.
Okay.
Yeah, he was originally I actually originally hired him.
Are you allowed to say his name?
He's mysterious.
Okay.
He likes to stay behind the scenes.
All right, cool.
But I originally hired him just to do like my website and stuff like that.
Okay.
And then me and him got along really well. We're very similar but very different at the same time. And he sees the vision I'm doing, so I brought him on as a business partner. And then he was also mentoring me as well because he has a lot of experience in like business all around. He's been doing this way longer than I have.
Right.
And he showed me like what's actually possible. Like, hey, you can actually do more than one business. You don't have to only. I always thought like this is it.
Interesting.
I didn't know you can do more than one business.
Okay.
So
with that being said, you have multiple businesses.
Yeah. Because like what me and him basically figured out, and from my experiences when I first started, I was originally looking for like a manufacturer to make my product for me. Like I had this recipe. I'm like, okay. How can I have this made like legally? Because I can't do it in a garage.
Right.
So I did my research, and there's like what it comes down to is there's not as many manufacturers as you think. A lot of brands, when you buy stuff, it's actually made by somebody else.
True.
And it's just their formulation, their product. So I was doing my research, and pretty much why I ended up building out my own facility was because the minimums to get started with a lot of these businesses were like way too high. Like by 50,000 units.
Okay. So you want to fulfill down the other ends for other business owners?
Yeah, exactly. So that's how it came. I'm like, okay, when someone's starting off, they're not going to want 50,000 units of a thing that can expire. You know what I mean? Because that's a lot of pressure. You're like, okay, that's a lot of units for one. So if you have nowhere to put it, nowhere for them to go right away, then the clock is burning, basically.
Yeah.
So,
and then they get discouraged.
Exactly. So, and then you're like, 100K into this thing, and you just spent your life savings basically on it. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of pressure, and it's not a good place to be. So him and I basically came up with this idea where we would do the business for them, basically because he's a graphic designer originally, branding, marketing kind of guy. So the whole concept was us coming together was we build out your brand, which we do the brand, the marketing, all the design and all that, and we come up with a formulation for you. And the minimums aren't like crazy. You can come in at a way lower cost, So if you have an idea for a product, we could make that for you. And
what kind of a product specifically? More food consumables?
Yeah, consumables. Basically anything that can be in a jar. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, basically any stuff that can go into a jar.
Okay. So you guys heard that? You guys gotta hit them up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like if you have an idea for a business, you want to make this new kind of like edible thing.
Yeah.
Or like a skin product too, because we're doing like beard stuff now too. So
beard stuff. Wow.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. With multiple businesses, you
Dope.
can actually have.
Love to hear that.
Yeah. So that's the other project.
We're
doing too. Yeah.
We're gonna pause on that real quick because we're gonna take a quick little break. All right. All right, guys, we are back. So what I wanted to bounce back on is an idea that how he had multiple businesses. Him and his partner are basically usually leveraging that in a way to, create a secondary income or multiple sources of income.
Yes.
Which is pretty cool, right? So besides other marketing, and you mentioned that you're also building a beard.
Yeah, we're doing basically we're starting off with a men's beard products, but it's going to be a men's line of just like skincare kind of stuff,
Interesting.
There's a lack of that, to be honest. Like
for men, totally.
For men, there's no good quality products. And I'm all into like since I grew out my beard like over a year ago, I've been like trying to take care of this thing where it's like soft and all that kind of stuff. So I started making my own beard products. So that's how I am, man. If I like something, I'm like, oh, how do I make that?
That's true. I mean, you're already creating peanut butter.
So I'm into making stuff. So I'm like doing my formulations and I'm testing it, just wearing it out and seeing their kind of response, getting a lot of positive feedback on it. So now we're doing all the branding. Like my business partner's working on all the branding for that kind of stuff. But we're also, like I said, with the peanut butter stuff, how we're offering to make other people's products as well. So they can get into
now I know who to link people up to.
Yeah, so now we're also going to be offering to make other skincare products, stuff like that for other people too. I want to get into that kind of business. Like,
so you guys have that manufacturing facility basically to. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so what would people need first in order to actually start the process of actually making the product if they were to go to you for that?
Yeah, well, they would have to come to us with their concept of what they're looking to make. So it could be like, you know, another kind of nut butter spread or like a face lotion or whatever. You know what I mean? They need to have some kind of concept, like they want something in particular. From there, we will go in, ask the kind of questions. We know the right kind of questions to ask to see what they're really, you know, what they actually need.
Right.
So we can build out the brand for them and come up with a formulation that fits their needs.
Definitely.
Yeah. And then we usually like to start off like, hey, let's start off with one product, show you that we can do this really good. And then from there, we can start expanding the line. You got to build trust. You got to build trust.
Right.
You know, because it's not a cheap thing to do.
Of course, because there's gonna be a lot of people that they could just turn it down, and you know, obviously you want to be able to have a partnership with them.
Exactly. The whole point is a long-term partnership where we're manufacturing your products. You're successful.
Nice.
So our goal is to make sure we do everything we can to make your product successful.
That's pretty awesome.
Like we can't sell it for you, but we can.
Of course.
Yeah, we can set up everything so it's prime for selling.
That's right.
So that's the whole thing. That means good branding, good formulation, good marketing.
So with that being said, won't they need some sort of like approval or permit or?
They don't need a permit or anything. They would have to just contact us basically, and from there we would set up a meeting. It's like a discovery meeting to see what they need. And that way we can figure out how serious they are.
Yeah, and figure out what they need as well.
Yeah, there's a couple things we need to figure out, like what they need in particular, and like how serious is this? Like, want to be done in a couple months? Is this supposed to be done in a year? Everyone's on a different path on like when they think they want to do it.
Dude, there's so much creativity out, especially in Ventura County.
Yeah,
man,
there is. You know, there's a lot of cool small businesses, and you got to support local. And
of course,
doing, you know, not everyone has a product. That's the thing. Not everyone has a business, but I like to at least be able to provide making products for people if they have an idea, so it's accessible. Because it wasn't accessible for me when I started. That's why I built out the facility, because there was no accessibility.
That's pretty cool, man. I've never heard anybody who decided to say, you know what, because I've never had this as well, I'm gonna be that person who can help.
Yeah, that's my whole thing. Like with everything I do, it's like, hey, I didn't know this information before, but I can tell you this, and it's gonna save you like a lot of time, a lot of headache, a lot of money, you know, all that kind of stuff. It's all about like sharing. That's why we have to come together as a community to share these kind of experiences with each other. And that's why mentorship is super important, because you can learn from other people's mistakes. Because any person that's successful would tell you that they failed way more times than they succeeded.
Of course.
You know, you only see the success, but like most of the time your ideas don't work out.
It's true. There's a lot of things that just that doesn't work behind the scenes.
It's true.
You know, I also want to backtrack with the epic spreads. I wanted to talk about, like, because from the only marketing way of you guys are selling it, the way I saw it was that you guys were vendors for the local gyms and farmers market as well. Just out of curiosity, how else are you guys marketing and selling? I know you said you sold it through online through Instagram, right?
Yeah, that's how it started. It started off just on online through Instagram, through our website. And then, because my original plan was, let me just do some farmers markets on the side while I was working at the sheriff's department.
Right.
But I weirdly ended up backtracking. I was selling on Instagram at first, and I was doing the online orders through our website, you know, just Instagram promos and stuff like that.
Right.
And then we started doing the markets. And then we got on Amazon.
Nice.
So then we're in some retail locations. So it's a lot of direct to consumer though, like, because we do a lot of sampling. Like, the best thing to do is try the product.
That's right. That's actually how I got involved. I kind of wish I had one right now.
Yeah, I should have brought you some.
That's all good.
Actually, I might have some in the car.
Oh, I mean, I still have some from the last time I bought.
Hey, I'm just saying, like, I have to start carrying it on me at all times. So I was at the gym the other day, and someone comes up to me like, hey, you're the Epic Spreads guy. I'm like, yeah. She's like, I want to buy some peanut butter. I was like, do you have any on you? I'm like, no, I don't have any on me. I'm at the gym right now. But I'm like, I should probably start carrying this stuff on me at all times, because you never know when someone needs peanut butter.
Yeah, it's true. Within the risk of that, it's like, you know, if it gets melted or something, you know. Or
I know.
Yeah.
Well, I usually, yeah.
What you need is business cards.
Yeah, that's true. But the person literally wanted to buy peanut butter from me, like, right then and there. They wanted it right then and there. Yeah, so maybe I should offer some kind of like, hey, I'm gonna be at the gym at this time.
Or ask them to follow your Instagram or something. Like, hey, follow me, and then I'll direct message you and then I'll deliver or something. I don't know.
That's
whatever.
the thing. It's like next. I need to know, like,
you gotta get some exposure. You know?
I just need to know the day before. You know, like, hey, bring peanut butter to the gym, because some people do ask me to bring some stuff, because I work out in the morning. And regular people that are like, hey, bring me a jar of that stuff. So I do.
That's pretty cool.
Give them, a free delivery.
That's awesome though, that people that you're branded enough to know that, oh dang, like you're the guy who kind of runs Epic Spreads.
Oh yeah, I'm the peanut butter guy. The people that don't know my name. Yeah.
That's true. People do call you the peanut butter guy.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like, oh, that's the peanut butter guy. So
yeah,
you know, you have to, you know, brand yourself.
That's true.
Yeah.
I love it, man. I love it. You know, I don't think I hear a lot of people. You're the only guy actually I know that could, quote unquote, the peanut butter guy. You know,
yeah.
like, oh, that's his name is Patrick.
Yeah, I don't think anyone else makes peanut butter though.
Yeah.
So
okay. Cool. So you know what's going on right now? I'm actually curious if it has affected you with what's everything going on right now.
Yeah, it
curiosity.
It definitely has, because we do a lot of these markets and events, and almost all of them have been canceled. Oh, so that's definitely,
it's limiting contact, right?
Yeah,
like
because
proximity.
Yeah, they don't want to do any kind of gatherings in like these different markets and different events. They have a lot of people there, so pretty much they've cut back on almost all of them.
Wow.
So it's definitely having a negative effect on business all around.
For sure.
Not just my business, any of the local businesses here in this city.
We might get closed down for the gym. So it's like
I know, that's what I was wondering. I went to the gym today, and they said they're still open and they're cleaning up and everything, but I saw that it wasn't 24 Hour Fitness, but like some other like smaller gyms like in LA were saying like,
because it's in LA, because the mayor of LA is closing it down.
I know.
Apparently with that. So
the way I look at it though is if LA is doing it, it's only a matter of time until it makes it to Ventura.
That's
because
true. I mean,
it's happening all over the place, and I know some of the businesses here. I was talking to a business owner yesterday, and he owns a restaurant downtown. And he was telling me that they're probably gonna close. And I saw on Instagram like, hey,
that's tragic.
They're closing, So that's really unfortunate, because a lot of people are relying on that income.
It's true.
Not just the business owner, but they're providing a lot of jobs for the community. So
absolutely,
honestly, it's having a pretty negative effect on the whole economy.
Yeah. I'm actually really curious how this would turn out and what the officials would do and how the business. I mean, I kind of already see how the business are being affected, and local people as well. I mean, them buying.
Yeah, but a lot of people are shutting down, and a lot of people are having to make cutbacks. And I mean, the only thing you can really do is just like support these businesses. Still,
that's true.
You can still I think a lot of these restaurants are still offering like takeout or gift cards.
Actually, Starbucks. I came in today and they don't allow you to sit anymore.
Yeah, they're doing like the mobile or whatever.
Yeah, you could still order from there, but you have to leave.
So everyone's making changes, and it's gonna get worse before it gets better. Is how I look at it. So
I think it's just gonna be a learning lesson.
It is a learning lesson for a lot of people, and myself included. But it's just unfortunate. At least for my business, it's not like a restaurant location.
It's true.
I mean,
or like a store, right?
Yeah, those people are taking more of a hit than I am, because
you got to worry about the real estate and the overhead.
We have rent too, but our overhead isn't nearly as high as our staff isn't. We don't have as much staff. That's what it comes down to, and our business isn't only at a location. We have online as well, so there's true. That's still going for now, at least. So you gotta stock up on peanut butter for
I might just
it's a good nutrient dense food.
Protein for sure.
77 grams of protein per jar.
There we go, guys. What kind of flavors do you have right now, so people who are looking into it?
Yeah, our most popular flavor is birthday cake.
Yeah,
that one's really popular. My personal favorite is the cookies and cream.
Cookies and cream. I have two of them.
Yeah. And we have, I'm trying to think what we have in stock right now.
White chocolate's pretty good too.
Yeah, we're out of stock on white chocolate though. Yeah, that one's sold out right now. We have chocolate fudge, that one's good. And then we have cinnamon roll, we have that in stock. That was one of the original flavors. And we have a couple toffee. Yeah.
I got that one. I'm going to try that once my cookies and cream run out.
Yeah, my favorite ones are the toffee and the cookies and cream. Man, that's all we have in stock right now. But yeah, white chocolate, that'll be back soon. And yeah.
Okay, cool. So let's dive into a little bit about you in the aspect of just the whole entrepreneurship part.
Okay.
I know you mentioned that a while back when you realized, oh man, you know what? I'm trying to get out of here. When did you realize that you creating your product was for you? Just the entrepreneurship process. When did you realize that, oh, you know what? This is for me, instead of going back into, working at the police?
Yeah, that's a good question, because it's not that I necessarily realized I want to make a product. My whole thing was, I don't want to do this, which is what the norm was. Remember I was telling you earlier, I was trying to be in a band when I was younger. So I've always had these aspirations to do these things that aren't normal, And I was like, well, this product thing, like, other people, my whole thought was like, okay, other people are doing this, so it's obviously possible.
Okay.
You know, so I just, my thing was like, you know what, I'm just going to get started and figure it out as I go.
Nice.
So I never really necessarily, because I can't wait for the perfect thing to align right.
That's
I'm
true.
like, you know what?
That's true.
I'm not getting any younger. And honestly, this is a prime time for me to be doing this. I was like 20, 26, 25, and I had no kids. I'm not married, you know. I'm like, okay, no one's really relying on me. So if it didn't work out, that's cool because I'm still young.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
I love that mindset.
Well, it's the best way to go because, like, this is the kind of time when you can take risks. And
yeah,
a lot of people are too, once you have, like, a family and stuff, it's hard for you to go, like, let me go take a big risk.
It's true.
Yeah.
But even so, like, if, like you mentioned, if you fail, it's like, okay, you just 2 years down the line, but you can go back working, you know, or wherever you want to do. Maybe it's not for you.
Yeah. Hey, the way I look at it, like, someone's always trying to hire someone. Like, I'm always trying to hire people too. You know what I mean? So it's like there's always like someone's always trying to, you know, someone always needs work. So and I've never like when I was younger, I never went like, oh, I need to do this as a career. Like I'm not gonna be like a cop forever. I never even wanted to be a cop.
Yeah.
You know, that wasn't even on my radar. So that's how but I just randomly ended up in the sheriff's department. You know,
but then you found passion through it as well.
Exactly, because then I've always been. You know, because I was into like working out, so I've always had that kind of like mindset of like just keep going, push it through, basically. Nice. And like that allowed me to be able to like become mentally strong, to be able to push through. It really has, like doing the working out and just being like structured on that. You know, that really transfers to business. It really does.
That's true. A lot of the people who I know who are very successful and passionate, and I would say in it for the longevity part of business, is that they're active. You know, they're always working out themselves.
You have to. It's like your number one thing you have to worry about is yourself. So if you're not taking care of yourself, you're no good to anyone else. True. So that's why all the self-care is important. You know, you got to read, learn, take care of your body. Yeah. Because if you don't have the energy and stamina, you can't do anything. You know. Exactly.
Yeah. So with your experience right now with entrepreneurship since 2016, right? So almost 4 years now.
Yeah. I mean, go ahead.
Yeah. What's been the best experience for you? You know, paving this pathway for yourself.
You know,
some of the best experience. You can name a couple. You know.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, the whole thing. It's just I feel like I'm just always learning when it comes down to it, because no one has the answer on what you're supposed to be doing. True. You know what I mean? Because I don't have a boss. So no one's saying, hey, fill out all these forms and get this done by the end of the day. You know what I mean? Like, that's how it would be before. So it's like, the best thing is like, I don't even have weekends. Like, I don't know what the concept of a weekend is, because every day, I feel
the same way.
Every day I tell everyone, like, every day is a weekend for me. Like,
I think it's because you enjoy it.
Yeah,
you know?
I don't hate what I'm doing, you know, and like for myself, when I started off, it's pretty interesting, like the kind of work this is. Like, when I started off, you know, you're making peanut butter, so you're alone a lot, which I actually like. You know, because
I'm learning to love that process.
Yeah, I honestly, like, I'm like an introvert extrovert. Like, I love to
ambivert.
Talk. Yeah, but I love to talk, but I definitely have to be alone because if I'm not alone, then there's no balance. You know, that's why I'm able to talk so much, because I spend a lot of time alone.
That's true.
And
I can relate to that.
Yeah, it's true. And there's a lot of peace, because I would just be by myself for like hours. Making peanut butter and listening to stuff to learn. And I just really ended up enjoying that process of just being alone, and then seeing the reaction that people actually like what I'm making. You know, it feels good. It's like, okay, it means it's like, oh, hey, I'm on the right path to something, you know.
And I could tell that you're constantly reflecting upon yourselves and what's right and what's right.
Yeah, you know, because like over time, like, you know, we modify things to make it taste better, improving. You're always improving based off the feedback you get. You know, and just trying to make it as good as possible. It's never like really just like set. You know what I mean?
True. It's something you learn in process. But what I mean is also that you were reflecting upon yourself as an individual. And the fact that you decided to start a manufacturing company for others, you know, just shows that, like, okay, cool, I shared my struggles, now let me help you out.
Well, that's what when I was going back to like intention and stuff like that, because when I originally started doing the Epic Express stuff, my intention right away was like, let me help others. But as I got more into it and, you know, just had a better mindset on everything, it's like, how can I help others? Because sometimes when I brought that up to other people, they're like, why would you make your competition's product? That was always like something that some people would tell me. I'm like, they're not my competition if I'm making it for them. Their success is my success. It doesn't take away from me, you know. I'm like, I want you to do really good. Like my goal is for you, so I can keep making your stuff all the time. You know, you're not my competition. I don't look at it that way. And you know, there's plenty.
I can't even believe people can't even think that way. It's like I didn't even think about that. Like,
yeah, because that was one thing that a couple of people were saying. It's like, why would you make someone else's similar type product?
Because first of all, you've already freaking maximized, or not, I wouldn't say maximized, but you've already succeeded and you know, have a sense of the system for your business.
Exactly. That's
so
how
now
I
you're
look
just
at it.
Diversifying, you know.
Yeah, it's like, you know, it's a multiple.
People think that.
Yeah. If you think about it, it's a multiple stream of income.
Absolutely.
And you're helping out another business and helping someone else follow their dreams. Yeah. And you're providing a lot of value for their customers. True. And her, you know, or him, whoever's owning the business, like. They're not able to do like I told you earlier, you can't do it all alone. And I looked for a manufacturer originally, so I know what kind of things that I don't like. So I just try not to treat people. I try to treat people how I like to be treated.
That's good.
You know?
That's a good
and like I said, just, you know, helping out people, having good intention on what you're doing.
Right. That's awesome, man. Thanks for sharing that. You know, I'm learning a lot from you. We're transitioning to kind of like, you know, ending it, right? Not ending it, but like in the sense of like what's in the future for you. But so for right now, with your current companies that you're running, what's your vision and what can people look forward from you?
Yeah, I mean, we're actually doing like for the Epic Spreads. We're transitioning to try to set up for retail. Meaning we're going to do some kind of changes to like the labels and stuff like that to make them a little more retail friendly. Cool. So that's coming, you know, soon in the future for Epic at least. New website, new marketing. Nice. Like we're just doing a whole kind of like rebrand, you know, Epic Spreads 2.0 basically. Cool. Same good product, but just like a little bit, you know, we're improved, you know. Yeah, true. We're always improving, like I was telling you, just trying to make it better, make it easier to order online. You know, everything's going online. That'd so it's awesome. Like, hey, let's just make it easier to order online, especially like with stuff happening like now. Like,
it's true.
Online's gonna be the way to go.
Well, it makes, like I said, this whole situation makes you kind of learn, like, okay, well, what should have I done so that I have avoided that better?
Exactly. You know? I mean, it's not really avoiding it,
but
you know, it's just about just making it just easier for the customer. Like that's what it comes down to. Is like, hey, how can we make this easier for our customers that want to support us? Like. True. This is how we do it. We make the website more streamlined. Yeah. We put the packs together so they're easier to just be bundled. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that.
That's awesome.
So that's what we're looking. That's what we're working on for the new Epic Spread stuff.
And what about for yourself? Besides the company, like what do you see for yourself, Patrick?
Oh, for me? Oh, you know, I'm always working on new projects.
Yeah, I mean, you're always in the Ventura 24 doing your yoga.
Yeah, I'm all into yoga now. So you know the whole. Yeah, I mean, my whole thing. I've been telling everyone that like that's been, you know, just like lifting. Like I used to just be like a lifter. I've been telling everyone like, hey man, you guys all need to start doing yoga. It'll change your. I'm
gonna take a class on Wednesday.
You should, man. Like it's been interesting because my whole mindset has changed. That's why like a lot of this like intention stuff. You know, it really strengthens the mind. I do like the hot yoga stuff.
I've never tried this.
Yeah, I mean, if you're ready for a challenge, you gotta try it. But the one thing that I like about it, besides it being a really good workout, is it really helps with your mental strength. Because when you're in there, you're suffering, and it's really hard, and you're like, how am I going to be able to do a workout in like 95-degree heat, basically, is what it is. You know what I mean? And every time you do it, you're able to push your limit. Like the ceiling gets higher every time. Yeah. So for what I noticed from it, interestingly, because I was originally just doing it for the workout. I was like, hey, I'm getting really lean and in shape. But then what I ended up realizing was like, wow, less things stress me out because my tolerance for uncomfortableness has gone higher and
Love
higher
that
and
application.
Higher. So basically, what I always say is you gotta always be slightly uncomfortable. The goal is to be slightly uncomfortable at all times because that helps you kind of challenge yourself more. You know, if you're too comfortable, you're not gonna try. You know what I mean? So it's like always about like basically pushing the ceiling on how uncomfortable you're able to get. That's how people, you know, achieve things. It's like they get really uncomfortable basically, and they kind of just like sit in that for however long it takes.
Yeah, and then when things like this happens, like now you blame they start blaming the world and stuff.
Yeah, it's just like that's how I'm like like I'm worried about it in the fact that hey, a lot of people are gonna get sick.
Yeah.
But I'm not trying to stress out a lot about it. For like a business perspective at least.
True.
You know what I mean? Because you gotta just remain. Some things are out of our control.
Yeah, it's true.
And this is one of those things that's like kind of out of our control. And I'm not attached to any kind of outcome on what happens from it because I don't have any expectations.
True.
I'm like, it's gonna play out how it's gonna play out.
Love that.
And no matter what I do, and what I think, and how much I worry, it's not gonna change what the end result is. You know
exactly.
What I mean?
You can only control what you can control.
Yeah, all I can control is what I control, and I can only just say, hey, we should all just support each other, during this kind of crisis.
It's true.
But other than that, I can lead by example, which I try to. I support local businesses.
Absolutely.
I make it a point to try to go to a new business every week.
Nice.
Like once a week to try out like a new restaurant or a new place.
That's pretty cool.
You know what I mean? Like,
love that.
Meet the owners, like that kind of stuff. Because it's like we need to come together as a community, and it'd be cool if there's like more younger entrepreneurs out there in this community.
True. Or like more collective, man. They're probably behind the scenes, but they're not.
Yeah, I mean, they're not like coming together as much. It'd be cool if there was like a thing where everyone's coming together. And it's kind of what you're doing here.
I hope I am. I mean, I'm trying to bring different types of voices through different like demographics.
Yeah, but that's what you're doing. You're getting like local people.
Yeah.
So it's like that's cool. Local people that are doing some stuff that's not traditional.
Trying to make them part of the voice community is what I call it.
Yeah, see, you're building a community, and that's super important, especially like for either people that are entrepreneurs and they don't have anyone. Because a lot of times you're alone, you don't have anyone to really like bounce ideas off.
It's
or
true.
Number two, like people that want to be, and they don't know where to start.
Yeah.
And maybe they don't want to like ask random people, like they know you do something. They're not gonna go up to you and just start like asking.
Yeah, it's true.
Questions. Like when anyone asks me any questions, like when I'm out, I always share. I'll spend like 20 minutes or however long it needs to take. However long it seems. I always allow myself ample time to go places, just in case I end up in a conversation and someone wants some information. So I'm never gonna turn down someone that wants some like knowledge. And it's important to share. Because my mentor took a lot of time to share the information that he shared, like hours at a time. So for me to spend an extra 20 minutes with somebody that's asking me some, questions because they want to know how to get started. Yeah,
true.
I'm more than happy to do that.
That's awesome, man. That comes from a place of heart.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that.
Of course.
So we're gonna transition to kind of shifting right now. But for anyone listening, what would you want to say to anybody? Family, friends, people who's listening, looking up to you.
Yeah. Well, my whole thing is you gotta stop caring what other people think. Like that's number one. It's like whatever you think is cool and you want to do it, don't be afraid to put it out there. Yeah. Because that's a lot of things that a lot of people don't do what they want to do because they're afraid of being judged. Absolutely. And the weird thing is like honestly, no one really cares. Like if you think it's lame, the only one that would probably make fun of you is like your friends, especially like how guys are. They just like give each other shit all the time. Yeah. But no one's gonna make fun of you for like trying to do something you really like, especially if you're taking it seriously. And even if they did make fun of you, eventually once you start doing it and you're getting like pretty good at it, you'll basically pass the point where you suck in the beginning. Like everything you start off, you're not like I'm not naturally good at everything. Sure. I just put a lot of effort into it. But you basically will become to a point where you end up being good at it. Or decent enough at it where people start asking you about, hey, what's the deal with
exactly
like that's how it was when I started working out. When I was really skinny.
That's true.
And
Same
like
here.
why are you like in the gym lifting weights? You're like 115 pounds. And then I started putting on some like weight and they're like, hey, what's your workout routine? It kind of weirdly transitions, So it's people will end up coming around when they see that you're actually serious. The point is to show that you're actually serious about something, and don't be afraid of like what other people think.
Yeah, that's true.
Or don't be afraid if you're gonna, what people are gonna think if it doesn't work out. Or,
absolutely.
Whatever. Like it's just about doing what. Because at the end of the day, they're not with you 24 hours a day. You are. So it's like, are you gonna live for yourself or are you gonna live for others?
Live for others.
Yeah. If you live for others, that's what leads to like depression, anxiety, stuff like that. You can never be truly happy if you're not living for yourself. Absolutely. And that's really all that matters. Is just like find whatever it is that you want to do, and at the very least, attempt it. You know what I mean? Like maybe it doesn't work out, maybe it works out, but at least you'll know, like, hey, I tried. Exactly. Because that was my that was my thought. Like when I was first starting off, I'm like, well, I don't want to look back I'll be like, when I turn 40 or something, been like, hey, I wonder what would have happened if I would have attempted.
I fear that regret too, you know?
Yeah, because my whole thing is like, okay, if it didn't work out, what am I going to regret? Like, I lost some money.
Yeah.
Like, money can always be made again.
But time, you can't get back.
You can't get time back. And, you know, I guess that's the thing, because, like, people live in fear. Yeah. That's what it comes down to. Like, afraid of what's going to happen if you don't set yourself up for. But you know what? Like, we're all living to be older now.
Yeah.
And we have way more, like, you know,
more resources.
We have more usable years.
Yeah.
So if you want to try out an idea, like, you know what? Your first idea may not work, but that doesn't mean you just stop trying ideas and just give up.
Cool. Love it, man. I definitely apply some of these things to my thing. So for anybody listening, where can they find you?
Instagram, at Epic Spreads, or at Patrick Shatter for my personal one. You can email patrick@epicspreads.com. Any questions, comments. If you're interested in, you know, making products, anything like that.
Your website?
Yeah, epicspreads.com. Yeah.
Well, what about, or is it the same contact if they want to manufacture?
Yeah, they can just contact us through the Epic Spreads site for just you know, private label, you know, whatever you want to do with that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Awesome, man. Awesome. I'll put that out for anybody listening. So yeah, that is all, everyone. Thanks for listening, Patrick. Thanks for being here in the Biz Talk series on the Go Voice podcast.
Great. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Of course, man.
All right.